Let's go to Las Vegas. The Broncos. This was a game. This is what my lock should have been. I believe I'm a believer, like I said, and I think he's gonna win Offensive Rookie of the Year, man. I really do. He's really developed under Sean Payton. They cover the 5.5. Game goes under the total as well. No, goes over. Excuse me. Goes over 41.5. Tough news. Literally 5 minutes ago, Rappaport broke Gardner Minshew will miss the rest of the season. He broke his collarbone. So,
All right, not horrible. It's only 5 weeks. Collarbone
but
6.
Desmond Ritter's awful.
Yes.
That's the bad news. That is the bad news. So, I mean, Bo Nix was another really good game. 25 for 42, 273, no turnovers, 2 touchdowns. Weren't able to run the ball that well against this defense, but Cortland Sutton had a good game. Thank God, because he was on my fantasy team. Marvin Mims, like I said, he's starting to develop into this system as well. Defense really locked it in. Besides Jacoby Myers, this team kind of locked down everyone else. I thought Brock Bowers was going to be the one to kind of get what he wanted, but Jacoby Myers had an awesome game. But they weren't able to run the ball either with McCormick. Tough team. Raiders now fall to 2-9. They've lost 7 in a row, kid, and they have the number 3 pick in the draft. What do we do moving forward with this team first, and then thoughts on Bo Nix and his continuing to develop?
With the Raiders, though, I'm tanking. Right now I'm eyeing a top 3 pick. I'm looking at Shador. I'm looking at Cameron Ward. I'm looking at somebody like that. Still, you need a savior. Defensively, you're okay. You got some pieces. Offensively, you got Brock Bowers. To me, he's already a top 5 tight end. Argue with who you want. He's a top 5 tight end. Uh, like you said, my boy Myers, Jacoby Myers, he's been a steady wide receiver. I understand he's not a household name. He's a former Patriot. He could get the job done. Might not be a true number one, but he's consistent. You could count on him moving forward. The Raiders just need a quarterback deal. Maybe Antonio Pierce. We'll see where he goes moving forward. But if they could just
He's
get a,
gone though, right?
if it was up to me, I'll give him another year.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Even with the quarterback coming in?
Yeah, I think he's still a great defensive mind. If you get the right offensive coordinator, I'll give it another shot. Me personally, and then with the Broncos, though, like you said, I agree with you. I think Bo Nix, after this game, should definitely be somewhat in the front runner of the conversation of offensive rookie of the year. 7-5 right now, couple straight wins. Denver's looking pretty good, though. Looking pretty good. 2 touchdowns, 273. Didn't really run the ball well, but we know what we could do with his legs. The team didn't really run the ball well. Sudden, another huge game, 2 tutties. Valet, good game. Mims as well. So I'm glad to see that the guys on the outside are being more consistent. These past few weeks that we saw early on. Give credit, Sean Payton definitely turned this team around, sitting at 7-5 still, and don't look too fast still. Denver right now sitting at number 7 in the playoffs.
Maybe you could help me look it up. I'm trying to look up for offensive rookie of the year, but just right now DK only has the MVP up. They don't have updated offensive rookie of the year. But you got to think he's the favorite, right?
I would think so. I'm gonna look for it right now. Get me wrong, Jaden Daniels possibly still might be the front runner, and I agree with it. But Bo Nix is definitely, like, say for example, 2 weeks ago, Jaden Daniels was minus 150. I would say Jaden Daniels plus 145, Bo Nix plus 200. Something like
Ooh.
that.
Yeah, so tough one for the Broncos, but yeah, Denver Broncos continue to roll and don't look now, kid, but they're in the playoffs. They got a 75% chance of making it. They're sitting at the 7th seed, and we'll see. Maybe Ravens lose Monday night, they move up. Chargers staying at the 5 seed. Maybe they move up to the 6 seed. Who knows? But if Bo Nix doesn't turn the ball over and this defense continues to play the way they do, this is a team that could go into playoffs and win a game. I feel more confident in the Broncos than I do the Texans. Is that fair to say?
No, though, just because the Broncos, they've been competitive in a lot of games. They almost beat the Chiefs, and they show up when you expect them not to. Like, a couple. like early on in the season when they won in Tampa. To me, that was an impressive win. I did not see that win coming. We expected the Houston Texans to win against Tennessee, and they didn't. We expected Houston to blow out some of these teams, and they didn't. So right now, Houston, like I said, they regressed a lot in my opinion. And right now, Denver with Sean Payton, hey, Sean Payton has been there. He's done it. It just can Bo Nix live up to the moment? We'll see. You know what this team reminds me of a little bit, Dill? Not saying they're as good or Bo Nix is that,
Mm,
but if they can make it to the playoffs, it wouldn't surprise me if they, surprise a team or two and be like the Green Bay like last year.
mm.
Somehow end up in the division around the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it took him a year, but Sean Payton is actually building something. I don't like the guy, but I'll admit it. He's no, I don't. But I'm gonna be
Nah.
honest. But he's a great coach. He's a Hall of
Hmm.
Famer, and Sean Payton preaches, do not turn the ball over, and we will be good. Just like what they're doing in L.A. with the Chargers. Justin Herbert hasn't turned the ball over, and look what they're doing, playing good defense, running the ball, and they're in the playoffs because of that. So. I would agree. Let's go to the next game. Packers win 38-10. This game closed at 6.5. We covered it when it was 3, but then we got the news Brock Purdy winded up going out. Nick Bosa winded up not playing this game. This team is just riddled with injury right now. This is not a good team. Too much to overcome. Braylon Allen, he's okay, but he's obviously not the guy as well. Jordan Love, I thought, played well. He had the 2 touchdowns. Romeo Dobbs had a good game, especially early on. Tucker Kraft, he wound up getting in the end zone. They ran the hell out of the ball, though. Josh Jacobs, 3 tutties on the ground, over 100 yards. He got the game ball, has to. George Kittle, he tried to do everything he could, but it's just not enough. Even with CMC, that defense is good enough where they were able to stop him. Xavier McKinney, I mean, the guy continues to deliver. We say it every week on our power rankings. He changed his secondary, not just the secondary, but he changed his whole defense. They continue to get turnovers, and this is a good team, kid. I like the Packers. Didn't matter if we got the 3 or you laid the 6.5. They covered that.
Yeah, Dale. I understand Brock Purdy wasn't able to go, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it would have made a difference. I think Green Bay would have won this game easily. San Francisco's just been a little disappointing this year. Even if let's just say give him Brock Purdy, no Bosa, no Trent Williams. George Kittle, I understand he had that TD. He's still coming first game back from injury. Debo Samuel hasn't looked great. I just don't think they would have won this game even without Brock Purdy. So to me, it was their best interest for him to rest up that shoulder. Honestly, Dale, the Packers, I understand Jordan Love wasn't a great game. Josh Jacobs ran the hell out of the ball. And honestly, they were just running the ball hard. Jalen Reed, Christian Watson a couple times. Like I said, Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love though he did what he needed to do. He didn't really try to play hero ball. Like he stuck to the game plan. I think LaFleur had a tremendous game plan. We're just gonna run the ball down the throat, and they were able to do that quietly. Dill, I understand a lot of people want to say, "Oh, San Francisco offense ain't the same. Their defense ain't the same, Dill. How many times we saw a San Francisco team consistently get ran on this many times in the season, Dill? So give credit to Green Bay, sticking to the game plan. Defensively, we know what McKinney could do. With Claude Alexander returns from injury, it could be one of the best secondaries in all of football. Josh Jacobs has been running the hell out of the ball right now. Quietly, Dill. I don't know if you know, he's number 3 in the NFL in rushing. Give credit to the front office for signing Josh Jacobs. Right now, Green Bay gonna be in the thick of things still. Watch out.
Yeah. By the way, I just looked up at every book that I have. No offensive rookie of the year odds.
Yeah,
Well, I'll
yeah,
try to
yeah.
get them to you, but yeah, they don't have it. But I want to say this though with the 49ers, clearly not the same team. They made the change to the defensive coordinator. I think their defense, yeah, say what you want, they're hurt, but changing that defensive coordinator, I didn't think was the right move. And also, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, or especially last season, they're in a slump right now. We even said during their futures, 11.5 wins was just too much. Coming back, I took the under. I don't know about you, but I think you did too. I just think that was a lot of games to ask for this team. We didn't know the certainty of CMC. He wound up missing the first 7, 8 weeks of the season. So it was just a lot. They are sitting right now at the 10th seed. They have a 40. Right now, they have an 18% chance of getting in, but if they win, they jump to a 40% chance. I think they're done, kid. I don't think they make the playoffs this season.
I think it's tough. Can they? Yes, just because the West is open. I give them a better opportunity to win the division do I have them making the wild card slot. Let's just say that. You know, right now, San Francisco, I mean, Seattle and Arizona 6-5. Let's see what the Rams do tonight. But the Rams are what 5-6. It's a small chance. After tonight, they'll Seattle and Cardinals are 6-5, or the Rams are 6-5, or the Rams are 5-6 right there with the 49ers, and they're just a game back from the division. So I think they'd be just fine. They just need to win 4 out of the last 5. If they manage to do that, I think they could possibly win the division.
Speaking of the West, let's go to the Seattle and Arizona game. Arizona, they wind up fucking me for my lock. This, like you said, this division is up for grabs. Seattle, they own the tiebreaker right now, sitting in first at 6-5. Big win at home. That's 2 wins in a row right now. Game goes way under the total of 46.5. But yeah, I just wasn't right. I thought they were gonna pound the rock. Trey Benson, James Conner, he wound up getting hurt. They just couldn't run the ball to save their life. Give credit to Mike McDonald. I gave him shit, didn't think he was a good coach. Played 2 really good games back to back. Geno Smith had an okay game. Definitely better than Kyler Murray. I'll say that fucking much. That one interception, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, you played a pretty good game up to that point, and then you just kind of have a brain fart. I just didn't know what he was doing. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's had a breakout season. Say what you want about Geno. He's really come on this season. He had another touchdown, 77 yards on 6 catches. DK had a pretty good game, but back-to-back wins for the Seattle Seahawks, and they're sitting in first place.
Yeah, Dale. You got to give McDonald some credit. Seattle just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we thought they were done. Now, coming off two, let's just say gotta have it games. Now you're right on the top of the division. Gotta give McDonald credit. Give credit to Geno Smith. Past 2 weeks hasn't played great, but played well enough to win this game. Beat San Francisco last week. Not beat the division leader in Arizona this week. To be honest, still give McDonald credit for having a great defensive game plan, but I think we got to blame Kyler Murray in this offense. Yeah, Kyler played pretty well, not great, but they couldn't wasn't able to run the ball. And besides McBride, Dill, he was honestly the only vocal point for the offense. Michael Wilson, 2 catches, 54 yards. Uh, my, my, uh, Harrison Jr., 3 catches, 47 yards. So if it wasn't for McBride, though, you could honestly say Kyler Murray would have had a quiet day. Only 6 points offensively, just 2 field goals. Give credit to Seattle. Defensively played great. And then, Geno Smith, doing his thing, going with the flow. Kenneth Walker not able to run the ball well. If they able to establish the run and continue playing this tremendous defense like they played these past 2 weeks still, I think Seattle has a great shot to walk away with the division. I still like the Rams, in my opinion, because they're healthy right now with Sean
Mm-hmm.
McVay and Matthew Stafford. But to be honest, you can't deny how well Seattle played in the division these past 2 weeks.